Good morning. This is Kathleen Clough with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, August 9th, 2025. The fire potential impacts across the next few days include gusty winds greater than 30 miles per hour and low RH across the Arizona Strip and southern Utah today, with no other major concerns across the basin, which will remain overall dry, warm, and breezy. As high pressure builds over the basin, we expect hot and dry conditions on Sunday with high temperatures in the high 90s, approaching triple digits across much of Nevada, including the Sierra Front and western central Idaho. This area of hot and dry conditions expands further east to cover almost all of Nevada and the western half of Idaho, where we expect to see temperatures 5 to 7 degrees above normal for this time of year. Radar estimates from the past 24 hours show some light scattered precip across a small portion of northwestern central Idaho, with the rest of the basin remaining completely dry. Satellite loop from yesterday afternoon into the evening shows some heavier cloud cover across northeastern Utah, where we saw higher RH values yesterday, as well as smoke from the Dragon Bravo and Monroe Canyon fires, but overall mostly clear skies across the basin last night. In the past 24 hours, the Great Basin had 10 new starts for a total of 24.7 acres and a large fire growth of 2,679 acres. Observed precip from the past 3 days shows the highest precipitation amounts across portions of northern central Idaho. These areas received at least a hundredth of an inch to a half inch, with sparse pockets of up to 1 inch of rain. The rest of the basin remained completely dry. In the last 30 days, most of the Great Basin has received well below normal precipitation, except northwestern Nevada and sparse pockets in western and northern central Idaho. ERC values remain between 50 and 75% across western Idaho and the Sierra Front from recent precipitation, but are back on the rise across the Sierra Front with a few point values in the 90 to 97th percentile and trending down across northern central Idaho due to recent rain. ERC values across eastern Nevada, Utah, eastern central Idaho, and western Wyoming remain extremely high, above 97%. Satellite from this morning shows clear skies over Nevada and the Arizona Strip and some lingering cloud cover across central Idaho and northern Utah. No smoke impacts across Idaho expected today, with some light impacts across Nevada. Heavier smoke impacts from ongoing Southern California wildfires across southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and the southern half of Utah are expected today. Less impact across the basin tomorrow, except for the southern tip of Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southern Utah, which will continue to see heavy smoke impacts from those Southern California fires and ongoing Monroe Canyon and Dragon Bravo fires. Today, we've issued high risk for winds over 30 miles per hour across the Arizona Strip and portions of southern Utah. The rest of the basin remains at moderate risk due to the continued dry conditions, except the Sierra Front and northern central Idaho, which will remain at little or no risk following that rain on Thursday. We'll be dry again today with no chance of precipitation. Max temperatures will be between the high 70s to low 90s for the northern half of the basin, and in the mid 90s to even triple digits across southern Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. That wind concern is seen in orange and pink across the Arizona Strip and southern Utah, where we expect gusts between 25 and 35 miles per hour. Minimum relative humidity still remain critical and in the single digits to low teens across those gusty wind areas on the southern edge of the Great Basin, and back into the teens in those high elevation areas of northeastern Utah, where we saw recovery yesterday, and then in the mid teens to low 20s, where we've been having our rain in the northern half of the basin. On Sunday, conditions continued to dry out, causing most of the Great Basin to move to or remain at that moderate risk, except for northern central Idaho, which is still in that low or little to no risk following that recent precip. Major concern for Sunday is hot and dry conditions with no chance of precipitation and high temperatures approaching triple digits across the Sierra Front and in the mid to high 90s across the western and southern half of the basin, with triple digit temps from Las Vegas east to the Arizona Strip. Idaho will see warmer temperatures as well in the mid 80s to low 90s. Not much of a wind concern on Sunday, maybe some brief gusty winds between 20 and 30 miles per hour in the afternoon across the Arizona Strip and a few small areas across central Utah. Minimum RH values still remain critical and in the single digits across the southern half of the basin, and RH values are slightly higher across the northern half of the basin in the mid teens to low 20s. On Monday, most of the basin remains at moderate risk, except northern central Idaho, which still remains in that low or little to no risk due to higher RH values in previous precip, but you can see we're still in that pattern of dry air on Monday. No precipitation is expected within the basin Monday, and max temperatures will be even higher than Sunday, with triple digit heat from the Sierra Front across Vegas and the Arizona strips. We expect temperatures in the high 80s to mid 90s across the rest of the basin, which is about 5 to 7 degrees above average for this time of year. No wind concern on Monday, maybe some breezier conditions in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range across Utah. Minimum relative humidities still remain critical and in the single digits between 5 and 10% across those breezy wind areas in the southern half of the Great Basin, and in the teens to low 20s where we've been having our rain in the northern half of the basin. Over the next 3 days, the basin will remain completely dry with really no chance for precipitation, just focusing on those hot and dry conditions. On Tuesday, again, no high risk triggers, and most of the basin remains at moderate risk except northern central Idaho, which will move to low risk due to hot temperatures and drying conditions. You can just see we're still under that kind of dry air mass on Tuesday. On Wednesday, similar conditions are expected, and the majority of the basin remains at moderate risk due to the continued dry and breezy conditions. On Thursday, conditions continue to remain dry across the basin with the potential for some gustier winds compared to Wednesday. So you can see those kind of heavier wind barbs mix in with that dry air across the basin. On Friday, following this warming and drying pattern, a few more zones in northern central Idaho will move to moderate risk. And additionally, we're keeping an eye on the chance for some stronger winds across Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. So you can see those heavier wind barbs mix in with those kind of red areas of dry air. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. The next 7 days of precipitation show the chance for some spotty, very light, maybe 1/100th of an inch precipitation in a few small portions of Utah, but we're not expecting any significant moisture in the next 7 days, and the rest of the basin will remain completely dry. The next 8 to 14 days show the chance for above normal temperatures across most of the basin except western Idaho and Nevada, where we expect near normal temperatures, maybe even below normal across the Sierra Front and southwestern Nevada. The precipitation outlook is also trending drier and shows below normal precipitation across most of the basin except the Arizona Strip, eastern Utah, and northern central Idaho, where we expect near normal precipitation. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.